Alright, let's start. Alright, cool. Hey, I hope everyone's going well tonight. Just making sure this is working. Yep, cool. Alright, let's jump into the database. Let's also see what we're doing today. So what we want to do today is, with an RFC, let's just create a new request for change. Let's go RFC, change tasks with blocks, implementation of change tasks to have blocks. All right, I'm just keying in a lot of this. Fast forwarding through this whatsoever, just creating a new task, and here is socks. So there we go, there's some proof of pair programming. There, all right, there you go. So what we want to do is, with the new change tasks items, we want to add in the ability to block or is blocking. We also want to add in more complication around it, meaning that change tasks can't block anything that, you know, has already passed or is scheduled in the past and so forth like that. So we'll need to implement rules and all this kind of so forth. I want to really fix up the request for change system before releasing 0.30. So it looks like 0.30 is going to be a huge release. Alright. There goes socks, plenty of space. So she's just sitting between the keyboard and the screen. You get me the view socks? You're like, yes I do. Ah yeah. Judgment locks. Pair programming. So one other thing which I want to actually do is I want to rip this out into its own, not component, I want to put it back into this component itself. Currently it's a subcomponent. I'm realizing that having it like that is causing more trouble than it's worth. That subcomponent is used in multiple other places, but I just don't feel that it works in this particular one. And sometimes this happens. Another thing which I've been thinking about is whether to have this as a modal or its own sort of screen. So if we put in, let's say, backup database, and we just do that. If we actually have a look at the information page, it's actually on its own sort of information page. So forth like that, and I'm thinking this might be best to actually do that. However, you lose quite a lot of context with the request for change, so you'll need the title in there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and the ability to cancel and so forth like that. So that's something that I've got to sort of discuss and plan through. So the request for change was one of the first things to be rewritten. It has quite a lot of old code in here, so there's going to be quite a lot of improvements to the code base, and I'm hoping to sort of get it looking even better. So this sort of thing here doesn't look that crash hot. I might actually condense this and this into a couple of lines, and then this also in a couple of lines. The status itself, we can actually condense into a line with a little thing, a visual indicator, very much like how with the, let's go to the Kanban boards. Very similar to this sort of line. So it's visually saying at what point these things are. We'll also have the block status, meaning that that overrides everything, so users can't actually move forward with those particular statuses. So yeah, got a bit going on at the moment. So let's jump in and start programming and seeing what we can rip out and all that kind of stuff. So first things first, do we actually want to actually have a new page open up, or will this modal work? Another thing is this modal is quite large. So if we go into something like this, that will be fine. It's just when it starts getting to iPad size, yeah, there we go. It sticks up to there, which is good. That's how we kind of want it. And then this will scroll up and down and all that kind of stuff. But there's just a lot of stuff in here that we got to fill out. One of the things which I do want to actually implement and make shorter, this, sorry, I'm highlighting too much there. This can actually belong down here. So we can put this data in here, and then we can put in validation and all that kind of stuff. So when something like this is changed, where it's different, it gets before this or after this and all that kind of fun stuff, we can put in a little error down here and be like, no, this doesn't work. And I think we've already got the time changes. So if we do actually put this after this end date updates and so forth like that. This is fine. The description's fine. And this is fine with the MISC stakeholders. In reality, these are optional and can be added after, but I'm going to keep them added at this point. So, and the blocked, the thing is, because usually you create these tickets in order, most likely, block functionality, blocks functionality, yeah, we've got to think about how we're going to add that functionality in here. Yeah, I've got to think about how this will work. Because what we could do is we could have it so it opens up a new page where it's just this sort of blank sort of stuff. We don't have this extra details. We only have sort of the required change task, start and end date, and this. And when they add that data in, it will open up this, which will then have more information where we can have the basic sort of stuff, and then the description, the MISC, the block can actually belong in, very similar to how we do the task information and project information, stuff like that, where we've got stuff at the bottom that is the extra, more optional data. I believe that will be better for a user experience. Because in reality, you're just trying to get in as much information as possible. I think that's just going to be a lot easier to do. And this particular page, I can easily rip this out and put it down at the bottom. It can have its own sort of tabs. It could belong in the same, almost the same sort of component, because it is technically the same component. Because the description will come through in that data, the MISC will come through that data. It's the only thing that will be separated, that comes in a separate sort of feed, would be is blocks by and so forth like that. Which will be set up similar to how we've got it. So yeah, let's I think I like that idea a lot better. Okay. So first off, let's not a new issue. Oh, sorry. I am exhausted. Long day. Let's just say that. UI UX issue with change task. With new change task. New change task. Currently, the change task opens up a modal. User has to fill out all fields. Modal has optional fields within it, etc., etc. New plan is to remove all optional fields and have it so that the user has to click into the change task to update the data, to edit that optional data. Idea is that the user will auto generate all change tasks, then fine tune the tasks afterwards. Okay, cool. So this will be priority. This will be just a normal sort of priority. This is the bug submitted, assigned to me. Change tasks. I don't have change tasks. A request for change. Oh, 32 issues. All right. We're going to have a busy month next month when we crunch all those tickets down and make sure this whole entire system is working as intended. It'll be great once we get there. Yeah. So, first off the bat, I don't want to touch any of this just yet. I actually want to touch this horrendously horrible thing. So, we've recently changed something to make it look a lot nicer. Get out of this format. I will zoom in for everyone. And what I'll do is a little bit, sorry. So the linked objects we have recently made better. I think that's broken, but I'm gonna have to test that out. Huh. That is a bug. Project 4 should be there. All right. I feel like I've done this recently, created let's add in this bug. Okay, linking projects to projects shows strange error. Alright, method. Log into NearBeach to go to project 1, link project 1 to project 2, go to project 2. Expected results. Project 1 to be in the links within project 2. Actual results. project 2 is only showing project 2 links. All right, cool. I think that's, I've just done something. This is going to be an urgent sort of thing because this is, yeah, this is data that should be working. I just don't have the brain power at the moment to actually do this. Oh, fuck. Thank you. All right. So going back to this other one, let's just close all these particular ones. So we want to fix this up. So we might actually have start time and end time just in a top row. We've got the backup database and then the just the extra information. So assigned user, QA user, and status. The status will belong along the bottom. And yeah. Cool, let's jump into this. So this is part of the run sheet sort of thing. So the change task stuff. So we want to go into source. We want to JS, we want components. We want, that's probably the wrong thing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually run the Vue npm run watch. Terribly sorry. I'm going to have to run the latest code. That also, that bug might be a defect in a previous. So it's like Jira. Yeah, kinda. It's just a project management system. Alright. Bang that open. I'm just double checking my bug, which I just put in. If I go to project 2, it should be linked to project 1. Project 1, all right, cool. So that bug I've just put in could be caused by the fact I did not compile code. Please retest. Okay. So that's how it's meant to show out, and I just think I didn't compile the code, and that's why I got that bug. All right, not a problem. So if I hit reload, hopefully my Vue stuff is not appearing. It sucks. Yep. Ah. Alright, this is a bug. This bug really annoys the hell out of me. Because it means I now got to use Chrome. And it always appears on the wrong screen. All right, come over here. Thank you. By the way, welcome, Sandley. I hope you're going well. I do hope you're enjoying my stream. So yeah, and Socks, who is currently wanting to roll onto a belly and get belly rubs. You're good. That is good to hear. I'm after a request for change. I don't have the drafts appearing on the dashboard purposely because they should only appear under certain statuses. So we're going to make this look nice. First off, let's click on View. I'm trying to get to this component. So it's part of the run sheet. RFC modules. Run sheet. So it's just RFC run sheet list. Okay, cool. Don't want to accidentally edit the wrong Request to change. Wrong component. Anyway, Socks has decided to tootle off. There we go. There's my beard growing back. I do need it to get it trimmed up. And get modules, RC, run sheet list. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, I do need to put a bit beard oil in. I do need to trim it up and stuff like that. But that will happen next week. So we've got a table to render this. Once again, all the tables in this are usually just temporary sort of things. I've just put them in there in lieu of any sort of UI and so forth like that, because I knew I would come back to it and improve the UI. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the table in there for the moment. We're just going to go over here. We are just going to go for the RFC in itself. You spot a bug? Yes. What's the bug? Spelling mistake? It's flying away. If you see a little black tail, there'll also be... I hope I don't have a fly in here. They are horrible to get out. Socks used to eat the flies, so yeah, she was quite literally a bug catcher. The QA engineer. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Do you guys still use HP Quality Center, or is it all just Endura now? I've absolutely forgot where I was going. Request for change. There we go. Jira. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, I used HP Quality Center. When I say back in the day, I mean we're talking how many years ago now? 7 years ago. Great fun when you're running Linux and you can't run it. You need to emulate the Internet Explorer just to get it to run. Okay, so I also want to bring up my other example. If you see the screen go up and down and stuff like that, I do apologize. Socks' tail actually causes this. It goes over my mouse, which causes me to go root, 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 root. Okay, so I want something that is like that, but without the relate to in there. Might also be an option to actually put the information up here instead of how it's usually done over here. So yes, let's actually do that. So straight off the bat, let's just bang, 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 and let's just cut that off like so. Okay, so run sheet. The run sheet will specify specific tasks for each user to implement. Each task can be, yep, all right, cool. And then that will look nicer along there. And then what we want to do is create another row. We'll keep the table in there for the moment. Oh, socks. Okay. She loves to cause the clicks on the mouse too. So we still need currently there's no change tasks and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. And then we just need another div here. So div class equals row. Yeah, that bottom stuff should be fine. It's this table stuff which we'll be gutting completely because we want a nice layout. Gosh, I can't even speak at the moment. Falling asleep. Fair enough. Yes, I don't blame you. It is Friday. It is 8:10 already, so I'm also falling asleep. Can't blame you there at all. All right, so row. So what we want is we want start time and end time. So let's just go bang bang. Get nice date. We've got change task dot fields dot change task start date. It's 2 a.m. there. Holy hell! Yeah, I don't blame you. I would be fast asleep. I'm amazed you're still awake. I'm trying to think where 2 a.m. is on my time at the moment. Are you on the east Coast time, like New York? 5 a.m. All right. I don't know where you would be. Okay. I'm actually just going to make this look nice here. So get nice date. And then change task fields dot change task end date. Thank you, Sandy. All right, so that's looking nice. Okay. We will need to key in a. So the reason why I brought this up is I can actually look at the classes object link. Okay, so that's card, that's Vancouver, Canada. Fair enough. I wouldn't mind going to Canada. Very long travel for me. It's one of those trips where I would have to have a break getting there and getting back. Because I don't like flying for that long. I can't sleep, that's why. So what we're going to do is in here, we are going to set something up where we can be like, all right, cool. So this is going to be not object links detail. This is going to be change task detail. So, actually that's going to be up here. And this one's going to be change task dates. And then the next one, div class equals change task. Fair enough, Sandy. Good night. I hope you get a lot of rest. And I do hope to see you again. So yes, thank you for dropping by. And thank you very much. I will try and have fun. All right, so the next one will be change task, not details. This one would actually be the change task name. I'm just going to end the div there. Div class equals change task responsibility. I'm not even typing correctly. And div class equals change task status div. All right, cool. So the change task status will give us the status. And the best thing is we could potentially use JavaScript to add in an extra class into here, and that will do all the colors and all that kind of stuff for us without having us to program it in and all that kind of stuff. So really using CSS to power it. So the change task name, we should be doing this. I just realized we've got to loop through this. And to do that, what I've done in here is I've just created a single div. And these are all right, not a problem. Not a problem. We caught this straight away, so not gonna be a problem. So simple div. I'm gonna put in here a loop for tasks. Just going to enter those up just a little bunch. And this will be our for loop right here. So I'm actually going to put the class on its next line because I kind of want to explicitly say, hey, there's a VF right here. So what we want is we're going to copy the same sort of thing with the table, with the body row. So change task, in change task list. And then we want to vbind the key equals to change task.pk, I do believe. Yep, change task pk. And then we've got the class name and all that kind of stuff. So this div will loop through. So we've got this, we've got this, we've got this. All right, we don't need, oh yes, we need this. So this will be the if statement here. So v if change task list dot length is greater than 0. Otherwise, we don't want it to run through all this whatsoever. We will have the else, and the else will actually appear. We'll do this. So this will actually be velse down here. Won't work at the moment because we've got to tidy up all this table and get rid of a lot of this data. So going through it, change task name. So we've got the nice dates. I'm happy to get rid of that bit of code right now. Happy to get rid of the start of the table and all that kind of stuff. So we've got to nick this, key this in here, like so. And what we need to do, get rid of that. Tasks, responsibilities. So we just want simple sort of, how do we want to do this? We want a simple div. We actually want 2 divs. So div and end div. And then in here, we want assigned user. And then we want span class equals small text in span. I'm just realizing this is actually going to be better on multi-lines. So that way this becomes a lot easier for other people to read. And then we just we need the squiggly brackets, the mustache brackets. Get username, change task dot fields dot change task assigned user, like so. This one's going to be very, very similar. So instead of assigned user, we got QA user. So we're just going to bump that open, QA user. I just realized that there's a little pip there, so we'll just pip that out. And then we've got span class equals small text. And then we've got get username, change task dot fields dot change task QA user. And that's all we need. Bang that like that, bang that like that, hit that like that. All right, cool. And we can get rid of all of this data. All right, so with the status, what we can do is we'll just go status and oh, okay, so we've got a VF here now. So if the status doesn't equal 4, get the status, else, these mice are terrible at times. Oh, okay. Okay, on a specific thing, there will show a start task, finish task, success task, and so forth like that. All right. This is going to be tricky, this one. So the vast majority of times it will just be, it'll be getting the status. So if I play that and printing it out on the opportunity that it is number 4, it does something. And this is a lot of code in here. And they do different things. Okay. I'm hoping we could simplify this a little bit. So, having a look at these two pieces of code, we've both got JavaScript void. We shouldn't need that. In fact, I wouldn't mind turning these into more like buttons instead of that. So it'll be a simple button. The next thing I'm update change task. So that's 4. That's 3. So we're adding 1. And this shows where it's successful, but nothing gets updated when it's successful. But change task status equals 5, but this is change task status. RFC status. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a complicated one. But let's see how it's done. So there's So I'm just thinking of an elegant way to actually put this. All right. So by default, it's just this. Get status will pull out. So if we go down here, get status, just a simple switch statement to pull stuff out. We can simplify that. We can simplify that a lot. Where default is, yeah, we can simplify that a lot. All right. Okay, this is a lot of complicated logic just for this one little section. So what I'm going to put in to start off with is just the change task status. So this will be the whole line anyway. So it's fine if we have a simple span at this point. Class equals small text. We're going to end that span. And then what we're going to do, get status change task dot fields dot change task status. Now I feel like we should be using a JavaScript dictionary in here. Call it 1 equals Bob. Yeah, it still doesn't. Yeah, I don't think the dictionary will work in this sort of case. We can have an array where each status has its own setup. So it's an array, so 0 will return nothing, so we'll return this, and then we can set it all up like this, and then we can key in other values in there and so forth like that, but we're just getting a little too complicated with something that doesn't need to be that complicated. So I probably also want people to go into the request for change information page to actually start the request for change and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just thinking at the moment. And hey, how are you? FDK version 2. I hope you're going well. I'm just thinking over a user experience problem at the moment to also hopefully we've got a bit of code which essentially is getting a little too confusing for its own good. Are you learning Django right now? Fair enough. I hope it's treating you well. So I'm using both Django and VueJS. So Django handles all the back end. So anything that, so for example, we refresh. If I go to view page source, I'll show you. So this is all I get from Django. All this kind of stuff. So the nav bar and all that kind of fun stuff. And then what else I get is a lot of the sort of API type of stuff. Though that has no data in it at the moment. No data. There we go. Yay. So yes, I'm just fixing up some JS at the moment. Essentially redoing this one little tiny section, which is VueJS. But we'll get into hopefully the Django soon. Thank you. Yes, you will be able to with lots with practice and stuff like that. Essentially, I've done this all by breaking it down. Let me rephrase this. I've been able to do this by breaking down complicated problems into more simpler parts. So yeah. And right now, I've got a complicated problem which I've probably over-engineered for this one little tiny section, and I am simplifying it for the moment. So originally this whole bunch of if blocks and stuff like that, the only part I don't like is SQLite in Django. Well, you could use, you've got a multitude of different databases you can use nowadays, and it's extremely simple to switch. Postgres, MariaDB, MySQL, Oracle, or SQLite. I use SQLite on my local just because I don't want to keep spinning up a MySQL thing, but then again, I've got MySQL on this computer anyway, so it really doesn't matter. You've also got Postgres, which a lot of other people actually like to use. So, yeah. And the good thing is, I do believe you can get Postgres locally and MariaDB locally and all that kind of stuff. And if you use Docker, you can easily get different versions of those locally too. So I just need to get rid of that status at the moment. So what I'll do, so it's going to get the status no matter what, is I'll just delete this. And then I'm just going to make sure I've got all the divs lined up correctly. Div, if change task, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. So I do need another div here. And I'm just going to hit refresh, save. That rendered, that compiled correctly, so I'm just going to hit refresh, and I am going to wonder why that didn't actually do anything. So chunk loaded, RFC information failed. So RFC information failed. So we've broken even more on the RFC, which is fine. We're testing. I have a feeling it has something to do with this. That could actually be a VLC. I have a lot of knowledge of MySQL, but I'm afraid I might need to know SQL for work or something else. The good news is a lot of those, that MySQL knowledge is transferable into SQLite. It's also transferable into Postgres and MS SQL, the SQL Server, or however you want to say it. Yeah, a lot of the database sort of information, well, when we're talking like those databases, a lot of that information is very transferable. The only part which is probably not so transferable is the administration type of things. So yeah, but if you're writing SQL queries and so forth like that, they're very similar. So yeah. Okay. Ready? You'll pick it up pretty fast. I think there are minor changes which you can Google. So differences between MySQL and SQLite. I don't think it's much, if memory serves me correctly. Oh, yeah. MySQL relies that it can handle large space of memory. Yep. Alright. I don't think that wasn't very helpful. Alright, this is not helpful either. I was hoping that it'll be like, oh yeah, these are the differences. Oh yeah, SQL supports only blob, null, integer, text, and real, whereas MySQL, a lot more. And so forth like that. Okay, load chunk RSC information failed. Oh, so it didn't load the chunk. There was nothing wrong with my code all along. Okay, it didn't render out the change tasks. Also, I've got to get rid of that one line at the bottom. I can't think at the moment. Add new change task to run sheet. Alright, get rid of that. Okay, let's start from the top. Let's change task list. Yes, Max. Dot length is greater than 0, so it should go in here and start rendering stuff out, even though it's just going to be text at the moment. And some of this will be updated. Currently there's such a... Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I am just exhausted. Please add sub by clicking on the button below. Alright, cool. That's a v else after a v if up here. That should be fine. So I don't know what's happening. There's submit row. There's add new change task to run sheet. Add new change task to run sheet. So we did see the error, and then everything just disappeared. All right, is the view stuff working? Oh Christ, that's annoying when that doesn't work. But you can read. Oh, that's good. Yeah, views very easy to get into. It's essentially made up of a template a script, and a style, but I don't use the styles here. I actually use Sass, and I compile the styles in a separate place. The reason being is I reuse those styles everywhere, and that's why I don't use the styles in here. Common sort of thing. So yeah, you can get away with doing this, and then what you do is you build up components. So you might have a main component which has just got calling for subcomponents, which call for smaller components, which call for even smaller components, till you get down to the very basic sort of component, and then from there, that's where you program in that component. And then the idea is you can use that component anywhere else too. Oh, sorry. Oh. So what I'm doing right now on the left is and I do apologize for those who can't see this. I do know this is small. I can't increase it. I'm actually finding the list itself. I've got the user list, change task list. So that's there. I don't know why it's not going through the objects. Let's have a look at the console. Something's gone wrong. The property change task was accessed during render, but is not defined on the instance. So I've got something called change task in here, and I've Alright, so VF, change task, there, alright. So I'm going down to my data itself. So the props is the data that I import in from above. A lot of this should now be using the VueJS stuff. I do have map getters. So for example, location ID should be getting from above. So change task list 0 is completed. Change that to filter, change task. Yep, that's fine, that's called. So I think it's something in here that it's not liking. So what I'm actually going to do is comment it all out. Then wait a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to hit reload and see if those errors will pop up. Yes, some of them are. Emits were passed to the component but not automatically inherited because component render failures as the listeners intend to. Oh, sorry. Terribly sorry. All right. Good thing about this is I can just won't let me. So I've already got that commented out. Little secret weapon I have. Delete all the code. Alright, cool. So we know it is definitely something in here. We definitely know it's not the top part. So what we want to do is we just want to delete some of these components. All right, wait a little while. I actually want to put in up here, hello. Now I don't know why that is like that, but not a problem. We've waited long enough. Okay, it is something in here. In this section right here. So if I actually delete this section, and I'll leave the D there. Wait a couple of seconds. Oh. All right, run sheet list. Okay, something's been admitted. Okay. Let's put this code back in. And let's uncomment this code. Something's gone wrong. This code's fine. The debugging experience, yes. Yeah, something has gone wrong. Yeah, welcome, Little God. I do hope you're enjoying the stream. So, yes, welcome. So I've screwed up something. And I don't know if I screwed it up tonight or a little while ago. So I haven't touched any of the JavaScript down here though. But let's see if there's any emits. There are no emits in here. So I don't know why it's complaining about emits in the RFC run sheet list. And then when I refresh, it complains a lot more. Property change task was accessed during render but not defined. I've got some spelling mistake probably. It's defined right there. No, all right, cool. V4, that's my big mistake. Instead of VF. There we go. Now we've got data coming through. All is happy. I don't know what this is for at the moment. And it won't show me where that piece of code is. All right. We've got a variable call. We're ignoring everything in static. So we do actually have a couple of RFC run sheet list. I can't see it there. I don't know where this problem's coming from. And it goes update values, which is just a method down here. But we've got the emits. Could be any one of these that is having the problem. But it's saying it's run sheet list. There shouldn't be any submodules or components. Ooh. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to come back to that one little bug, but we've got stuff rendering, which is great news. Now we just gotta lay it out so it looks nice. So this is where we use the Sass. So we just shrink those JS, we go to Sass, we go to components. I am seeing if we've actually got a run sheet list. We don't. Do we have change tasks? No, we don't. So I'm going to add in a new file. I'm going to call it runsheet.scss. I've got to add that into the main one. So that will be after object links. So bang at import components runsheet.css. Yep, like so. Bang, bang, bang. Easy, done. And then what we're actually looking for in here is, you'll notice that I've got the change task details. Now, did I have one that was just change task? No, I kept the change task details, name, responsibility, and status. So like so. And then this we want as display flex. Justify, no, not justify. Is it just, oh, I keep forgetting Flexbox stuff. Sorry about this, but you can always look it up. Bang in here, just so not the display, the properties, no. Flex direction is we want column. Column, sweet. So we've got that. I'm happy. So we need change task name. We need change task dates. So we belong under here. What we'll do is we'll actually copy what we've got under here with this. So if we have a look at this, we've got object link, object link. We can just copy this and paste it in. And then we've got the change task name. We've got the A under there, so text decoration is none. Text color is black, and then A hover. No, I don't need to do any hovering stuff. Yep, definitely not. Okay. Responsibility. Flex. Display. Sorry. Display. Flex. Flex. Direction is a row. And then what we need is the space in between. So, oi, come on. Sorry, I'm just swiping on my mouse and it's just not doing what I want it to. So we need space between. And that is justify content. Like so. And then if we reload, we should get something like this. We'll need to also shrink that text, and we'll have a little meter along there. We'll also have a little bit of space at the top and bottom. I'm also looking at this and realizing that yeah, I need to fix up that. So what I can actually do is I can pop it like this, this is change task responsibilities, and have it like that. So even though it's in 2 locations, it will copy this. Wait a few seconds, hit reload. Perfect. All right, I like that. And then this will be a lot longer and so forth like that. I will tweak this, so some of this information is a little bit bigger than others and so forth like that, but I need to play around with it to do that. Yeah. Anyway, let's fix this. Just wait a few seconds. Actually, I can get rid of that and then just have a BR here. Wait a few seconds, hit compile again. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Anyway, I am terribly sorry. I'm going to finish the stream here. I am just falling asleep. Let's find someone to raid. Can't even think of the URL. We raided him the other day. Let's raid VexFX. VexFX. So I do believe he's working on something. So a game. So yeah, let's raid. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. I'm sorry I'm just finishing early. I am just exhausted. So yes, I do hope you enjoy VexFF. So yes, anyway, I shall see you guys next time. See ya.